The grifters and the heart of Invictus. Harry and Meghan are turning it into a pathetic PR tool. Now, there's a lot of sketchy stuff that the Montecito grifters are up to, but messing with Invictus, which is a charity for disabled service people with severe injuries, all just trying to live their lives independently and do something meaningful, well, that crosses a line that should never be crossed. Earlier, I was watching a video on YouTube made by a different person. It was named Heart of Invictus, and this video talks about the role of the grifters in Invictus and some really interesting discrepancies when it comes to the money. Usually, I try my best to be polite in my videos, but folks, I'm finding it really difficult today because I am just seething with anger. I mean, how dare they? This misappropriation of money from this charity is absolutely disgusting. This is money that has made its way somehow into Meghan Markle's wardrobe and into their pockets. I think you all are familiar with the stupid comments that are made in the comments section on this channel from Meghan and Harry Sugars about that we're all just a bunch of haters for saying these mean things about such wonderful people. But there is no defense whatsoever for this kind of thing. I mean, how unethical. We're talking millions of dollars here that they're sidestepping through various companies and their Archwell Foundation, which is basically just a setup for money laundering. Now, that video talks about it all. I mean, they are so evil. They have got to be fully exposed for all their evil deeds. Look, and I'm sorry if I sound preachy right now, but this kind of thing just makes my blood boil. I mean, this is the lowest of low, taking advantage of a charity like Invictus. And I'm sorry if you already knew about all this or if you've posted about it. I don't read everything and I don't have the best memory, to be honest with you, but I feel so strongly about this situation. I've got to talk about it. And I've been saying this for quite some time now. Perhaps at one point in time, Harry did have some amount of compassion or real interest in Invictus, but ever since he got together with that evil snake Meghan Markle, well, the two of them have become the absolute opposite of compassion or empathy or charity or caring. The only ones they're interested in benefiting is themselves. I, for one, was really hopeful that maybe Heart of Invictus was being delayed because there was some action being taken against this nasty pair. I just hope that this scandal is investigated and thoroughly. I hope the royal family themselves are going to call for this to be investigated, and I hope they demand accountability for the people involved with any impropriety when it comes to the money. Invictus, after all, is supposed to be about the service members, the men and women who risk their lives to serve with honor and dignity, and they're recovering from severe injuries, some horrible injuries, and they are doing it the whole time with their heads held high. They have pride. The last thing Invictus needs is to have money stolen by these two narcissists. I mean, what a couple of traitors. And honestly, because I don't want the Sugars to have my videos taken down, I'm not even sharing my real thoughts on the matter. If I had my way, I'd use words a lot worse than what I'm using right now. Now, if Meghan and Harry understood what the word decency even means, then they would be doing this for free. They wouldn't be demanding appearance fees. They wouldn't be demanding that Invictus Charity pays for their wardrobe. They wouldn't be demanding anything at all. I mean, goodness knows Meghan Markle has more than enough ill-fitting clothes that she can wear. This is just more proof why Invictus needs to cut any connections with the two of them. Now, if I were in their position, I definitely wouldn't be acting like that. The way they have conducted themselves as it relates to Invictus is absolutely disgusting. It would be such an honor for me. It would be my privilege to support the men and women of Invictus, and I definitely would not go around demanding appearance fees, my wardrobe being paid for, expenses paid for, and all the rest of it. They are such horrible people. I'm just infuriated at the way they have acted and the fact that they don't see anything wrong with what they're doing or have done at the expense of these poor servicemen and women. Everybody should demand that Invictus totally cut relations with the two of them. They can have another member of the royal family be the face of Invictus. Maybe somebody like the Princess Royal's husband, for example. I mean, at this moment, even Andrew would be a much better choice. At least he did serve for 22 years with dignity and honor, and he rescued a lot of wounded soldiers, and he also used his helicopter as a decoy, so at least he could relate. And Harry claims he's got PTSD, but he spent his time in playing video games in a bunker. He has an excuse for absolutely everything, and most of his excuses are BS, a justification as to why he shouldn't be held accountable. Well, you know what? It is time that Harry starts being held accountable for his actions, both of them. I suspect normal, ordinary folks just want to kick Harry and Meghan to the curb, but it looks like the top brass want to keep him because it gives them an air of their own importance, hobnobbing with real royalty. I guess there are way too many people who have way too much to lose if Meghan and Harry get what they got coming. I do hope, though, that it's getting more difficult for them. And I had heard that a lot of money from Archwell supposedly made its way into their pockets, but the Invictus charity, I mean, seriously, how absolutely disgusting. Those servicemen and women served their countries, and they lost way too much of themselves physically and mentally. They do not deserve to be treated like that. And let's remember that they house Archwell in Delaware so that they can keep 95% of the donation money and only give 5% to charity. Now, supposedly, they have this office off-site somewhere, but there was a French reporter who went to the office, and he filmed only one single receptionist sitting at a desk. All the other offices were completely empty. No furniture, no staff members. They're also using their home as an office. Now, their tax returns for Archwell show that they only work 1 hour per week for each of them for the whole year. They are a couple of con artists. And of course, the sugars are going to say the same stuff they always say, that we're lying and we're just jealous. And then they're going to go to their little holes in the internet and they're going to talk about how we're such horrible people because we dared to say something bad about their idols. And then some are going to get really nasty and abuse us. They'll use sexually explicit language and say some really horrible things. It requires actual intelligence to read stuff and comprehend it. And apparently that's something that people like the sugars don't have. But anyway, I'm just grateful for the fact that I've got a life, I got a family, so I don't have to spend my days obsessing over people like those sugars. And I'm sure if I made any grammatical errors, they're going to point them out for me. Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate it. I mean, the sugars should be ashamed of even standing up for the two of them. Why are they working to help them promote themselves in this way? Do they have nothing better to do with their lives? Like, why don't they stand up for something good for once? And I do wonder, why are people not reporting Meghan and Harry to the government? I do wonder, is Invictus registered in the US or the UK? Please, somebody let me know if you know the answer to that. I just do not want to see them get away with this. It is not so difficult to be humble, but Meghan and Harry completely miss the mark every single time. Invictus is about those brave men and women. It's not about a couple of grifters. They're the ones who should be shining. They should have one of theirs speak to open and close their games, not Meghan and Harry. And you, do you agree with the views in my video? Please tell me your opinion below in the comments. If you think my video is useful, don't be afraid to like and share it with your friends and family members who would like it anytime you want. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.